Welcome to First Class or Trash. I am Eric Smith, the president and COO of Incremental Media.
Hi, my name is Mike Gunderson. I'm the CEO of Gunder. And here at First Class or Trash, we want to take a look at the creative we receive in our mailbox and determine, hey, is this something that we would respond to first class, or is this something that gets thrown right in the trash? So what we have today, Eric, is an actual Honey Homes mailer, and this one actually caught my eye because I'm a homeowner, and to be honest with you, I'm not very handy. So when it comes to doing maintenance around my house, it's not top of mind, and I rarely do it right the first time. So when I got this mailer, I thought it was actually well targeted. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up that mailer, and I know you saw this already. I shared it with you earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and let you kick us off on your first impressions with this mailer.
Yeah, and I would say I would second your point on not being the most handy guy in the world. So I hear you on that. I don't know how they target or know that, but maybe that was just lucky on their part. In terms of the envelope, I thought it was really well executed. Like it looks like something official, like something you kind of have to open to understand what's going on. So versus other types of direct mail where like the messaging is exposed and they kind of know what it is immediately. I think it's interesting that they kind of went that envelope route. In terms of the creative itself, it does a lot of our best practices. So like icons to communicate key messaging, kind of a essentially a letter from the founder that they're utilizing that approach. We've seen that do well, or like a letter from a medical professional if you're in the medical device space or things like that. 2,000 happy members, 140,000 tasks completed. Like some solid numbers. 2,000 isn't the most overly impressive number in the world, but it's solid. I would be interested to see if they tested this type of letter approach against a letter that looks more official, that like almost you feel like, oh, you're reading it and almost halfway through, you kind of realize, oh, this is just an ad. It's not like I have to respond to type of approach. Because I think sometimes people might open this and just be like, oh, it's an ad. Never mind. I don't want to look at this anymore. So anyways, I'd be curious if they're sort of A/B testing and we just didn't see the B approach. But if not, I think that would really be worth looking into. But what were your first thoughts, Mike?
Well, you'd mentioned, the hardworking envelope. I mean, I love this. It's barely working, hardworking, right? There's almost nothing here. It's got the indicia. It's got a component code, and it has my address, of course. But that's intriguing, and weirdly, I want to open it, and I definitely want to open it before I throw it away. So, although it's not a very well branded tactic, it's a tactic to get people inside the envelope, and I think that's important. When I dove into the letter, I agree. There's a lot of this I really like. So I thought the value proposition headline at the very top was really great. I think the oversized logo is actually interesting from a brand perspective because even if I'm not going to utilize this service right now, having that big Honey Homes logo at the top got my attention. And to your point, I thought that the icons and bullet points, kind of subheads throughout this letter, really caught my attention, drew me all the way to the bottom, of the letter. I actually, in particular, really like the CEO's sign off here. He says founder slash CEO, homeowner, and dad of three. And I don't know, that was warm to me. Maybe it's because I have three kids,
No, I
and
totally
I'm a
agree.
homeowner and I'm a CEO, but I was like, I got you. So I really like that. And then the other two things that I really enjoyed about this was the social proof, both from kind of the press proof that they may have received, and then also the tasks completed, the happy customers, and the ratings on Google. I thought both those combined were actually a really good effort, and really saying, hey, this is a new service. I've never heard of it before, but it looks like they have some credibility in the marketplace.
Yeah, in terms of areas for improvement, I mean, I kind of shared, I guess, a little bit of this thought earlier, but I would be curious to kind of test a more official looking letter versus this kind of more modern D2C look that a lot of, D2C brands use. I will give them credit. I think a lot of brands we work with have a brand name that kind of has nothing to do with what their brand is about. So the fact that Honey Homes, you got the little icon with the smiley face in the house, it's very clear that like it's about my home. I thought that was a kind of a nice touch, even though it's not, specific to their creative, it's their brand, but I kudos to them, whoever decided that. And I do like the little picture of the CEO. I think, your dad of three call out, I think was a good one, but him and his picture, I think just brings a little bit more of a human element to it as well. So I think a lot of times people think of like businesses and corporations as like these kind of big entities. So the fact that he's just a human being, I think it kind of makes it a little more like, oh, I could trust this guy and his company kind of coming into my home. But yeah, my main sort of piece of feedback would just be almost like a totally different creative and a different approach, and just seeing if that would outperform this sort of like modern kind of D2C look.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I mean, for me, there's only a few improvements. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and I'll say this is a first class mailer for me for a couple of different reasons, but I'm going to go ahead and throw in some improvements that I think will actually make this a better performing piece. One thing, this is a minor thing, but I actually liked that they said general contractor, California general contractor down here, and I am in California. I think there's a missed opportunity on this indicia to not use a California indicia. Or use a California return address. So one or the other, but to make it feel very local, I think would have been helpful. The other thing is on this piece is there's a lot of real estate missed on the back. The back of this letter is actually completely blank, and so I think they could have utilized the back of this letter to add some more social proof, maybe some quotes. I think showing a list of all the services that they actually provide and kind of maybe some price points against those services would have been helpful. And then finally, one of the other things that I thought could have been really helpful here is some sort of offer. I mean, even if it's a $50 off your first visit, or maybe maybe it's something like free batteries for your fire alarm, something like that that would entice people to say, oh, okay, well, cool, I'm going to get something out of this at the end of the day. They do offer a free home assessment. But that's not really, to me, that's not really an offer, that gets me excited. So I'd rather have something tangible. But I will put this in the first class with those improvements. What are your thoughts on where you put this and any improvements you think could be made?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree on the first class topic. The only other thing I would add that you haven't already mentioned is we do a lot in the home services space, so like blinds, flooring companies, gutters, things like that. And the phone is still the predominant way that a lot of those brands like want to contact people because you can, when you get on the phone, it's easier to book appointments and the whole thing. So the URL and really more the phone number than anything is like pretty buried. It's kind of in that little PS section. I think that could be kind of more prominently featured somewhere else. But otherwise, yeah, I agree. First class. Kudos to the Honey Homes team.
Yeah, well, I'm going to jump on that just to promote my own company, Eric, if you don't mind. But I think post reminder QR code would be really great here too, because with that one scan, we can drive them to the website. We can share this with a friend, and we can also tap the call, right? So from one easy call to action to getting them connected with Honey Homes is a really great way to go. And in addition, you could then schedule that maintenance or get back to this mailer when you're ready to actually start working on some of those projects. So, yeah, again, I thought a good mailer, first class all the way. Well done, Honey Homes. And I just want to say thank you again for another episode of First Class or Trash. If you want to contact me, go ahead and shoot me an email at mike@gunder.com or check out our website. Eric, how can they reach you?
Yeah, same thing. esmith at incrementalmedia.com or incrementalmedia.com and hit that little contact us button and book some time.
That's great. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.